Something summoned me to speak this truth into existence today, and I know it's because you needed to hear this. The universe doesn't make mistakes about timing, and neither do I. What I'm about to tell you will shake the very foundation of how you've been seeing your recent struggles, your recent losses, your recent sacrifices. Chosen one, listen to me when I say this. You are not who you think you are. You are not just another person stumbling through life, making random decisions and hoping for the best. You are a chosen one, and the sacrifice you made, the one that's been eating at you, the one that felt like it nearly destroyed you, that wasn't destruction at all, that was construction. That was the universe building something magnificent through you, with you, for you. I know you felt the fear when you had to let go. I know there were moments when you questioned everything, when you wondered if you were making the biggest mistake of your life. But here's what you didn't understand then, and what you're beginning to understand now. Chosen ones don't sacrifice for themselves. They sacrifice for the greater good, and that greater good includes a version of themselves so powerful, so aligned, so unstoppable, that their old self had to die for it to be born. The thing you released, whether it was a person who was slowly draining your life force, a situation that was keeping you small, a habit that was keeping you trapped, or even a version of yourself that the world told you to be, that thing was never meant to stay. It was meant to be a catalyst. It was meant to push you to the edge of your comfort zone so you could finally see what you're truly capable of. The gratitude you feel now, or will feel soon, isn't just relief, it's recognition. It's the moment when you realize that everything you thought was falling apart was actually falling into place. Every tear you shed, every sleepless night you endured, every moment you questioned your worth, all of it was preparing you for this moment when you understand that you are not just a survivor but a thriver, not just a participant in life but a creator of reality itself. But let me tell you something that might surprise you. What you sacrificed wasn't just holding you back, it was actively working against you. There was an energy, a force, a presence in your life that was so threatened by your potential that it did everything in its power to keep you bound. This wasn't just neglect or indifference. This was systematic suppression of your light, your creativity, your power. This presence came disguised as authority, as someone who knew better, as someone who had your best interests at heart. But chosen ones, real chosen ones, learn to see through the disguise. They learn to recognize the difference between genuine leadership and toxic control. They learn to distinguish between someone who wants to grow with them and someone who wants to grow from them. This controlling force in your life had serious issues with your independence, your creativity, your natural ability to manifest reality through your thoughts and intentions. They couldn't stand that you were becoming too powerful, too self-aware, too connected to your own inner wisdom, so they tried to bind you mentally, to create a prison of dependency and doubt that would keep you focused on them instead of your own limitless potential. But here's where your story gets interesting. Somehow, some way, you managed to unravel yourself from this mental bondage. You found the strength to see through the manipulation, to recognize the patterns, to understand that what was being sold to you as love was actually a sophisticated form of control. You broke free from a trap that many people never even recognize they're in. The way you did this wasn't through aggression or revenge. It was through something much more powerful. You chose to listen to your inner voice over the external noise. You chose to trust your intuition over their explanations. You chose to believe in your own worth over their attempts to diminish you. In doing so, you didn't just free yourself, you demonstrated the kind of spiritual maturity that separates chosen ones from the rest of the world. Now, I need you to understand something crucial about what's happening in your life right now. You might be in what feels like a pause, a period of reflection, where you're processing everything that's happened. This isn't downtime. This isn't you being lazy or unproductive. This is you integrating the wisdom you've gained from your ordeal. This is you seeing your life from a higher perspective, understanding patterns and connections that were invisible to you before. During this pause, you're not running from yourself anymore. You're not hiding from your emotions or pretending everything is fine when it's not. You've learned that when sadness comes, when grief shows up, when fear knocks on your door, you don't have to run. You can sit with these feelings, knowing they're temporary visitors, not permanent residents. You've discovered that fear is simply love calling you home to yourself. Trukekwa home. This is what it means to play in the light instead of hiding in the darkness. This is what it means to face your shadows and transform them into sources of strength. Most people spend their entire lives running from their pain, medicating their discomfort, blaming others for their problems. But chosen ones learn to alchemize their pain into power, their wounds into wisdom, their scars into stories that heal others. You've become a master manifester, though you might not fully realize it yet. You've learned that creation requires destruction, that birth requires death, that transformation requires sacrifice. You've discovered that to build something beautiful, you sometimes have to tear down what's no longer serving you. This isn't destruction for destruction's sake. This is conscious creation, intentional evolution, purposeful transformation. The energy you're carrying now is different. People can feel it when they're around you. There's a depth to your presence that wasn't there before, a groundedness that comes from having walked through fire and emerged not just unburned but refined. You've developed what I call the golden touch, the ability to transform whatever you focus on, to bring healing and wisdom to whatever situation you enter. Some of you watching this might be artists, creators, performers, or people who work in the public eye. If this is you, pay special attention to what I'm about to say. The controlling force you had to sacrifice was specifically threatened by your creative power, your ability to influence others, your platform or potential platform. They saw your light and knew that if you were allowed to shine at full capacity, you would expose their darkness by comparison. They may have promised you things, success, partnership, security, love, but what they were really offering was a golden cage. They wanted to be associated with your light while simultaneously dimming it. They wanted to control your narrative, your message, your reach. They wanted to be the puppet master of your performances, the editor of your expressions, the gatekeeper of your gifts. But chosen ones cannot be contained. Your light is too bright, your purpose too important, your message too necessary for the world. So the universe orchestrated your liberation, even if it felt like devastation at the time. What looked like loss was actually the removal of limitations. What felt like failure was actually the beginning of your true success story. Here's what's coming for you now, beautiful soul. Here's what the universe has lined up as a reward for your courage, your sacrifice, your willingness to choose your truth over their comfort. First, you're going to experience a level of joy and harmony in your life that you've never known before. Not happiness that depends on external circumstances, but joy that wells up from within because you're finally aligned with who you truly are. The confusion that has been clouding your vision is about to lift completely. Remember how it felt when you were tangled up with that controlling energy, how you couldn't think clearly, couldn't make decisions with confidence, couldn't trust your own judgment. That fog is clearing, and what's emerging is crystal clear vision about your path, your purpose, your next steps. You're about to undergo what I call a major glow-up, but this isn't just about your external appearance. This is about your entire energy signature, transforming. People are going to start noticing something different about you. They're going to be drawn to your presence, inspired by your confidence, energized by your authenticity. You're going to become magnetic in a way you've never been before. New love is coming into your life. Love that honors you, respects you, celebrates you. This might be romantic love, but it's definitely going to be the kind of love that reciprocates your energy instead of draining it. You're going to experience relationships where you don't have to dim your light to make others comfortable, where you don't have to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's vision of who you should be. For those of you who sacrificed material things, financial security, or business opportunities to break free from that controlling situation, listen closely. Your sacrifice is about to pay dividends you never imagined. Financial stability isn't just coming. Generational wealth is being activated in your bloodline. You're not just going to recover what you lost. You're going to gain access to resources that will allow you to live your purpose without compromise. This is happening quickly, faster than you might expect. The universe has been preparing this blessing while you were going through your trial. Every day you chose your integrity over their offers. Every moment you chose your freedom over their security. Every time you chose your truth over their comfort. The universe was taking notes, and now it's time for the cosmic payback. But here's what I really want you to understand about what's happening to you. You're developing character in ways that most people never do. Your intuition is becoming razor sharp. You're opening up to talents and gifts you didn't even know you possessed. You're becoming curious about your potential in ways that are going to lead to discoveries about yourself that will amaze you. This experience has awakened something ancient within you. You're not just a person who happened to make a difficult decision. You're an old soul, a being who has been through many lifetimes, many experiences, many initiations. The wisdom you carry isn't just from this life, it's from all the lives you've lived, all the lessons you've learned, all the growth you've experienced across time and space. People are going to start looking to you for guidance, for wisdom, for perspective. They're going to sense that you've been through something transformative and emerged with insights that could help them navigate their own challenges. This is part of your purpose as a chosen one, to be a beacon of hope for others who are still trapped in situations you've escaped, to be proof that freedom is possible, transformation is real, and people can change their lives when they find the courage to sacrifice what's keeping them small. But let's not sugarcoat it. The truth is still hidden. It's been twisted. It's been buried under censorship, algorithms, and fear. Yet your heart never stopped recognizing what's real. That's why you're still here. That's why you never tapped out. Because you've felt the simulation glitch beneath your feet. You know this world is rigged, and you're done waiting for permission to rise. The obsidian inner order wasn't built for the curious. It was forged for the committed. This is for the full-time chosen, the ones who came to lead, the ones who see beyond the veil and act anyway. Inside, we hold weekly Zoom calls that cut through the noise. We share hidden teachings most were never meant to hear. We train in psychic warfare, strategy, and spiritual technologies they've kept locked away for centuries. This is the toolkit for the real ones, the ungovernable, the impossible to erase. It's time to remember who you are. The link is in the description. Your real life begins inside. But let me tell you about the most incredible part of your journey. You are being protected by forces you can't even see. Right now, as you're watching this, there is an entire army of spiritual beings working on your behalf. Ancestors who walked similar paths, angels who specialize in liberation, guides who understand the unique challenges of chosen ones. They're all rallying around you, supporting you, orchestrating opportunities and synchronicities that will blow your mind. This protection isn't just theoretical, it's practical, tangible, real. They're moving obstacles out of your path, connecting you with the right people at the right time, inspiring you with ideas and solutions that seem to come from nowhere, but are actually coming from the collective wisdom of all who love you in the spiritual realm. Your tears, your prayers, your moments of deepest despair, they didn't go unnoticed. They echoed through dimensions, reached the ears of beings who have been waiting for you to call upon them. Every time you cried out for help, every time you felt like you couldn't go on, every time you questioned whether you were strong enough, they were there, holding you, strengthening you, preparing you for this moment when you would finally understand your true identity. You are a portal, chosen one. You are a conduit through which higher dimensional energy flows into this reality. Your creativity, your inspiration, your ability to manifest. These aren't just personal gifts, they're cosmic responsibilities. When you create, you're not just making something beautiful for yourself, you're birthing new possibilities into the world. When you manifest, you're not just improving your own circumstances, you're demonstrating what's possible for humanity. This is why that controlling force was so threatened by you. This is why they worked so hard to keep you bound, distracted, focused on their drama instead of your purpose. They understood, perhaps better than you did at the time, that your freedom would mean their irrelevance. They knew that when you stepped into your power, you would expose the lie they were living and selling to others. But here's what they didn't understand. Chosen ones cannot be stopped, only delayed. They cannot be destroyed, only refined. They cannot be diminished, only disguised for a time. Your light was always too bright for their darkness to contain. Your purpose was always too important for their limitations to restrict. Your destiny was always too powerful for their control to prevent. Now that you're free, now that you've called your power back, something magical is happening. It's like the universe is rolling out a red carpet for you, clearing the path ahead, lining up opportunities that align perfectly with your gifts and your purpose. You're going to start noticing synchronicities that seem almost too perfect to be coincidental. You're going to meet people who feel like they've been waiting their whole lives to connect with someone like you. This is what happens when a chosen one finally steps into their power. Reality itself reshapes to accommodate their energy. Doors that were locked suddenly swing open. Resources that were scarce suddenly become abundant. People who were obstacles suddenly become allies or simply disappear from your path. But with this power comes responsibility. You're being called to embrace your inner wisdom, to trust your intuition, to follow your inspiration even when it doesn't make logical sense to others. You're being called to be curious about your potential, to experiment with your gifts, to push the boundaries of what you thought was possible for your life. Most importantly, you're being called to play. The controlling force in your life wanted you to take everything seriously, to live in fear, to constantly worry about making the wrong choice. But your spiritual team wants you to remember that this is a game, an adventure, a cosmic playground where you get to explore what it means to be a conscious creator in a physical reality. Don't let anyone tell you to dim your light, to be more realistic, to tone down your enthusiasm or your dreams. Your laughter, your joy, your playfulness, these aren't signs of immaturity, they're signs of spiritual mastery. They're evidence that you've learned to find the sacred in the ordinary, the magical in the mundane, the divine in the everyday. The work you're being called to do now isn't the kind of work that drains you or depletes you. It's the kind of work that energizes you, that feels like play even when it's challenging, that connects you to something larger than yourself. This is your life's purpose beginning to unfold, and it's going to bring you the kind of prosperity that goes far beyond money, though the money will come too. You're going to find yourself in situations where your natural abilities shine, where your unique perspective is valued, where your contributions make a real difference in people's lives. You're going to discover that when you're operating from your authentic power, work doesn't feel like work anymore. It feels like the most natural expression of who you are. But here's what I need you to understand about the transformation you're undergoing. It's not just about you. Yes, you're being blessed, elevated, empowered, and prospered. But your elevation is lifting others. Your freedom is showing others what's possible. Your courage to sacrifice what was keeping you small is inspiring others to examine what might be keeping them small. This is how chosen ones change the world, not through grand gestures or dramatic announcements, but through the quiet revolution of becoming who they truly are. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, every time you choose truth over comfort, every time you choose your power over their control, you're sending ripples through the collective consciousness that make it easier for others to make similar choices. Your story is becoming a beacon of hope for people who are still trapped in situations like the one you escaped. Your transformation is proof that change is possible, that people can break free from toxic patterns, that there is life after sacrifice, that endings can be beginnings in disguise. This is why your protection is so strong, why your spiritual team is so invested in your success, why the universe is moving mountains to support your journey. Your individual liberation is connected to the collective liberation of humanity. Your personal power is part of a larger awakening that's happening across the planet. As you continue to step into this power, you're going to notice that your very presence begins to change environments. Rooms you enter will feel different. Conversations you join will shift to deeper, more meaningful topics. People around you will start making different choices, asking different questions, wanting different things from their lives. This isn't ego or imagination. This is the natural effect of someone who has done the inner work, who has faced their shadows, who has chosen love over fear, who has sacrificed their limitations for their potential. Your energy field literally transforms the energy around you, creating space for others to transform as well. But remember, this transformation isn't a destination, it's a journey. There will be moments when you question whether you made the right choice, when you wonder if the sacrifice was worth it, when you feel tempted to go back to what was familiar, even though it wasn't fulfilling. This is normal. This is part of the process. In those moments, remember this: you are more than magic. You are more than ancient. You are more than powerful. You are a bridge between worlds, a translator of divine energy, a proof of concept for what humanity can become when it chooses love over fear, truth over comfort, power over control. The prosperity that's coming to you isn't just financial, though that will flow abundantly. It's emotional prosperity, spiritual prosperity, creative prosperity, relational prosperity. You're going to experience wealth in every area of your life, because you've learned the secret that most people never discover. True prosperity comes from alignment with your authentic self, not from conforming to others' expectations. Your imagination has become a powerful ally in this transformation. The same creativity that the controlling force tried to suppress is now your greatest tool for manifesting the reality you desire. You're learning to use your mind, not as a prison of worry and doubt, but as a workshop for designing the life you want to live. This is what it means to have the mind of a creator. This is what it means to be a conscious participant in the grand adventure of existence. You're not just responding to life anymore. You're creating it, shaping it, directing it with your thoughts, your choices, your energy. The beings who protect you, who guide you, who support you on this journey, they're not doing it out of pity or obligation. They're doing it because they recognize what you're becoming, because they know the role you're meant to play in the larger story of human evolution. They're investing in you because your success is their success, your freedom is their freedom, your power is their power, manifesting through you. And here's the beautiful truth that ties everything together. The sacrifice you made wasn't really a sacrifice at all. It was a trade. You traded limitation for freedom, control for authenticity, fear for love, smallness for greatness. What you gave up was never truly yours to begin with. It was just a temporary experience, a lesson, a stepping stone to something infinitely better. The gratitude you feel now, or will feel soon, isn't just relief that the difficult period is over. It's recognition that every moment of struggle was preparing you for this moment of power. Every tear was watering the seeds of your transformation. Every moment of doubt was strengthening your ability to trust yourself. Every sacrifice was clearing space for blessings you couldn't have imagined. You are not the same person who entered that controlling situation. You are not the same person who felt trapped, confused, or powerless. You are someone who has been refined by fire, strengthened by struggle, and elevated by experience. You are someone who has learned to find the sacred in the sacrifice, the gift in the grief, the power in the pain. This is who you are. This is your story, your journey, your transformation. And this is just the beginning. The foundation has been laid. The groundwork has been done. The stage has been set. Now it's time for the main event. stepping fully into your power and watching as the universe responds with opportunities, resources, and experiences that match your new energy. There's something else I need you to understand about your transformation, something that connects directly to why you were chosen for this particular journey. You possess what I call blessed sight, the ability to see beyond the surface level of reality, to perceive the deeper patterns and connections that most people miss entirely. This isn't just intuition, though that's part of it. This is a heightened awareness that allows you to see through illusions, to detect truth from lies, to recognize authentic power from manipulative control. While others in the world are cursed with negative perceptions, creating unpleasant realities for themselves through their limiting beliefs and victim mentalities, you have been blessed with the ability to see possibilities where others see problems, to find opportunities where others see obstacles, to recognize blessings where others see burdens. This blessed sight is what allowed you to eventually see through the controlling person's manipulation, to recognize their false promises for what they truly were, and to make the sacrifice that ultimately liberated you. Your spiritual team has been working overtime to ensure you develop this discernment, to help you distinguish between what serves your highest good and what merely serves someone else's ego. They've been training you to trust your inner knowing over external validation, to value your own truth over popular opinion, to honor your unique path over conventional expectations. This is why your journey has been so intense, so challenging, so transformative, because ordinary training creates ordinary people, but extraordinary training creates chosen ones. The pause is over. The reflection period is complete. The healing has happened. The power has been reclaimed. Now it's time to move forward with the confidence that comes from knowing who you are, what you're capable of, and what you're meant to contribute to the world. Welcome to your new life, beautiful soul. Welcome to your power. Welcome to your purpose. Welcome to the adventure of being exactly who you were always meant to be.